What do you say at the beginning of a YouTube episode? I mean, is there a right thing to say? Is there something that you could say that would totally ruin your episode? Well, I've got two things that if you put in the beginning of every episode, it'll make sure that you get a lot more people watching to the end.
Okay, so I have been... Did you notice how I just said, okay, so? That is how I start all of my videos. My Facebook videos, I went back and looked at all of them, and they start with, okay, so there's gotta be a better way to start my videos. What am I supposed to say?
It's funny. I say queso a lot, and I'm like, queso, that's cheese in Spanish. I catch myself saying that a lot because it's so funny. We tend to want to start with something. I wouldn't stress so much about that. It's just the nature of what we speak. But there are two things that you can really be strategic about, especially on YouTube, that will really get results. One is to start with telling people what is the video about. And when we do keyword research, I mean, we already have a title for our video. We know, if you want to know more about that, watch this video up here. But we know what the title's about. And when people click on it and they hit play and you say, hey, in this video, we're going to talk about how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics. You're telling them right out, yep, I'm in the right place. This is the right video. Because sometimes people might, if you start out with conversation, yeah, we like natural foods, or we like whole food remedies, or something like that. It's like, okay, get to the point. Are you really going to get to it, or is this just clickbait? So the first thing, I mean, it sounds obvious, but sometimes we don't do it. We just say, hey, in this video, and then you tell them, what is the video about?
That's so good. I just did a video where I was telling a story about my nanny experience, but the end of the video, I think I brought it to the point where I said, this is how I kind of crushed my idea of what the perfect mom looks like. Mm-hmm. But if you didn't watch the whole video, you had no idea what I was going to be talking about.
Okay, I like that example. So it would be great to say, okay, in this video, we're going to talk about what the perfect mom looks like. I'm going to share a story first that will really set the stage so that then when I answer this question, you'll know. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you kind of let people know what to expect.
Well, and I have seen through these vulnerable stories that I'm telling, people kind of watch halfway through, and then I get so bummed that they didn't watch the end because that was where the good stuff was. But if I threw it up at the top, what they're going to be hearing, then I can see where we're at.
Yeah, and so that kind of actually leads us into the second thing, because you're telling people what's the video about, and then you're giving people a why. Like, why should they watch? Okay. So in the beginning of this video, I said, in this video, we're going to talk about how to start your YouTube video. And then I went a little bit more and I said, because most people start it wrong. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I emphasized, I'm going to share two things that you've got to do at the beginning of every episode to make sure people watch longer. Right. So I just kind of went into more depth and I gave them, I want to learn what these two things are. Sometimes you can reference your credibility. You can say, because I've filmed 10,000 episodes and I know, if you give, I'm the person that you really need to hear this answer from. Or if you're making a video, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to be vulnerable on camera because I've done it. Or I'm going to talk about why vulnerability is something that we should have more in our society, more in our culture, because I've done it. And I'm going to share some stories of some of the results that I've gotten from it.
So trying to apply that to one of the things I've done. Yeah. Let's just go back to the mom thing. So I could start out more, hey, I used to think that being a mom was this perfect scenario, but I'm going to talk about what it's not. Because I have more joy now knowing that it's not this certain way, and I hope you can too. Here's my story. There's a why there. There's what I'm going to be talking about. Yeah. I guess that would be.
So I would say that's perfect. And the only thing I would add to it is your style of doing videos is conversational. It's like because on YouTube you're talking to one person at a time. Same with Facebook video. You're just talking to one person at a time, and so. As long as you just stay like you're having a chat, you're just having a one-on-one conversation. Even the way that I do it is a little bit more polished. It's a little bit more official or corporate. And that's a weakness that I have. I've gotten better. I used to be, in this video, we're going to be talking, so I'm better. But what I've really liked about the style of your videos is that you're just chatting, just like you could be talking to your sister or something. And so if you're making, a video for your sister, hey sis, I want to make this video for you because, it's important to do this. And I thought that if I shared this, then it would do this.
Right.
Does that make sense? So yeah, I think the example you gave was perfect.
Well, and that just feels better too, knowing that people know what they're getting into and they'll stick around to hear the whole story to get what they want out of it. I like that. So
another twist, a way to look at that second thing of kind of giving them a reason or going into more depth is I like to call it a hook. You could say, like, a hook is a marketing term, like how to hook them in. So I'm not thinking about it in a negative way, but if you give somebody like, so I've really learned this for myself, and I'm going to share 4 steps that if you follow these 4 steps, you'll get this result. And then at the end, I'll throw in a bonus that actually helped me add another $10,000 per month. So right. What I'm saying my hook was there is maybe both things. I shared 4 points, so it's kind of like, I want to learn what those 4 things are. And at the end, there's this extra bonus I'm going to get. So it's just kind of hooking them in to, like, you're planting seeds of what's going to come and letting them know that I want to watch this video all the way to the end.
So let me try this.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about food addiction on my Facebook, on Being Me on Purpose. And what I could say is something I have learned a lot about food addiction and having overcome that. I'm going to tell you what I wish I would have known when I started into Overeaters Anonymous. But if you stick around to the end, you'll see an exact list of some of the things that I've worked on that could help you too.
Good job.
Yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah, good job.
So what about the beginning of your video? I record and then I post and it looks like I'm paused in some awkward position. Is there a way to put something else there?
Yeah, so the thumbnail, that still image that YouTube chooses, it's kind of chosen at random. Right. And they give you 3 options to choose from. But I recommend designing a separate thumbnail.
Okay.
And that's something, in fact, do you want to see some examples?
I would love to see some examples.
All right, so this is Paul Jenkins. He's my client. He's become a really good friend of mine, and I want you to what do you notice about the thumbnails that you see here?
Well, they have a title, so I know exactly what I'm getting into. And he's like a still image. It's very clear. And there's a picture right behind, so it's him, but then there's something beautiful behind him.
So I like the things that you pointed out there. Actually, let me point out this. What's different about this one?
He's sitting in his living room. there's no, I can't just look at the image and know what he's going to be talking about.
I like that. That's exact. So this was a live stream, and we'll probably go back in later and design a better thumbnail. All these other ones are called custom thumbnails, and we've kind of got a template that we follow. You see that they're kind of all similar text on there, and they all look pretty similar so that they're kind of on brand. And each channel that we do has a complete different brand, but this is kind of, Paul's Live on Purpose TV brand. And so I'm glad that you pointed that out, that, like, you look at that thumbnail and, I mean, there's a title, which is helpful, but from the thumbnail, you have no idea what the video is about. Right. Compare that to this one right here. The title of the video is The Importance of Positive Parenting. And then this creates curiosity. It sees a dad. There are only 2 options, and it creates curiosity. I think this is one of our best thumbnails. We actually do A/B split testing on thumbnails, which means when you get enough, when you're at a point with your channel when you're getting hundreds of views in the first week, you can test out 2 different thumbnails and see which one gets clicked on more.
Oh, interesting.
And so some of these earlier ones, I personally don't like this thumbnail that my team designed. How to have a more positive outlook on life. He's got a sad face, but it's got a thumbs up. Be positive in life. This is more of a statement where I would like, I would like something else that creates more curiosity in my mind. And I would have to think of what that is. But I know that I love this one. There are only 2 options. That creates curiosity.
Well, whatever that is, I want to know what that funny thing is.
The power is in you.
See, I would click on that one because I'd be like, what are those googly eyes?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious to know how well that thumbnail's performed. I really don't know. So you can actually test those things and compare it. And sometimes you create an alternate version that doesn't do as well. No, okay, the original is better.
Well, and when you create this, do you do it on something like an app like Canva? Do you do, like, what do you use? How do you do that?
We use Photoshop. But you could use any graphics tool. You just need to know the right dimensions.
Okay.
And you can Google that on, like if we...
Like I use Canva for a ton of
If
my
we
stuff,
go to
so
Google and we
like...
type in for YouTube, and it tells us the dimensions should be, 69 by 9 ratio, 1280 by 640 or something like that, or 1280 by 720.
And then you can just load that into your...
Yeah, so you can create a template, and we use a template all the time, and we'll kind of think of ideas of, okay, what would create curiosity, what would really emphasize it. One thing I'll also point out, the title of the video is different than the text, and you'll find exceptions, but that typically our goal, because they'll always see them together on YouTube. They'll always have the title paired with the thumbnail. So how to help a toddler adjust to a new baby. And this is how to be a good sibling. I don't know if that's the best, but I mean, at least they're different, and it's cute. It's got a little brother potentially with a baby there, and yeah,
those are good.
And then another thing that I like to do is just look at a screen like this, look at the videos that have had the most views, and I think a lot of the times I'm guessing, okay, that was a good title and thumbnail combination because the video performed better than the others. This one, it's only got 550 views, and I might look at that and think, oh, why is that one performing less?
Right.
So you can really learn. So
now, do people brand themselves with thumbnails?
Oh, yeah.
Like you go to somebody's channel and they have that image, and the thumbnails are what give them kind of like, everything else, I guess.
Yeah, if we come to, I'm just curious. I don't know what will happen I don't know if Paul ranks for parenting yet. I'm curious about this. If we go to YouTube here, we search for parenting. We're just looking down. All right, so I'm not seeing any of Paul's, but you see different thumbnails that are here, and it's all different types of brands. Some are more branded than others. Like this one, they've got their logo on there. So as far as determining what your brand is, I recommend looking at other examples and seeing what people are doing and seeing what you like. Mm-hmm. Also, I've only just shown you one example of Paul's thumbnails, but look at other channels that are doing a good job with thumbnail design in their branding and whatnot, and just get different ideas so that you can think, I like this one, I don't like these. You can really come up with a good thumbnail strategy. All right, so I'm going to put myself on the spot. I'm just going to pick a video that I haven't listened to recently and see if I did a good intro. Let's see if I had both those two things in there.
That'd be great.
All right, so how to tag YouTube videos. Let's see how well I do. Welcome back. Today we're talking about tagging YouTube videos. Do you want to know how to do it? I actually post hundreds of videos every month on multiple channels, and we have a really good keyword research strategy. We get a lot of traffic from search. So I'm going to show you how to properly tag YouTube videos so you can get results. So how'd I do?
Yeah, that was great.
I think I did pretty good there.
Yeah. You gave yourself credibility. You wanted me to watch the end. It was good.
Cool. So does that help know how to start your videos?
Yes.
Very cool.
It's very helpful.
Those of you who are new to this channel, I actually talk a lot about keyword research and how important it is to really pull in traffic to your videos from people who've never heard of you before. And I have a free gift. If that's something that would be of value to you, my keyword research guide, you can text HERO1 to this number that you see on the screen here, and that will give you access to that keyword research guide. And we'll see you in the next episode.